People in Omu village still whisper about the night little Abeni was born. But the story truly begins many years later, on a dusty evening when a trembling boy named Kola swore he heard a girl crying inside the forbidden hut.
No one was supposed to go near it. No one was supposed to mention her. But the sound of that cry had a softness, a loneliness, that didn't belong to a monster. Abeni, Kola whispered, testing the name he'd only heard in rumors. From behind the thick raffia curtain, a weak voice answered, "Who are you?"
Kola jerked back, stumbling over a stone. His heart thundered. "They said you can't talk," he stammered.
"I'm not supposed to," she replied, her voice trembling like old bamboo in the wind. "If they hear me, they'll beat Mama again." The boy swallowed hard. "Why do they hide you?" Silence, only her muffled breaths. Then she whispered, "Because they are afraid of what happens when the moon is full." Kola didn't understand. She didn't sound dangerous. She sounded tired, like someone who had carried too much pain for too long. The curtain moved slightly, and he caught a glimpse of her eye. Large, beautiful, framed with trembling lashes. Not a monster, not a curse, just a girl who had never seen sunlight on her face. A woman's voice suddenly shouted, "Kola, step away from that hut." It was Iya Agba, the oldest woman in the village, walking with her staff. She pointed it at him. "Do not speak to the moonchild," she hissed. "She is not like us." Kola's confusion only grew. If she wasn't like them, then who was she? And why did only the moon seem to know? The next full moon rose earlier than usual, an enormous glowing orb that seemed too close, too bright, too alive. Kola couldn't stop thinking about Abeni's voice. He waited until the village slept before creeping back to the forbidden hut. Inside, her mother whispered desperately, "Abeni, hold it in, please. The moon hasn't risen fully, just a little longer." Abeni whimpered, "Mama, it hurts. My bones, they're stretching again." Kola froze. Stretching? He pushed the curtain open a crack. What he saw was not a monster. It was a girl struggling against something inside her she didn't understand. Her back arched, her fingers curled unnaturally. Her skin shimmered under the small shaft of moonlight sneaking through the roof. "Mama, I feel them again," Abeni sobbed. Her mother pressed a cloth into her mouth. "Don't let the village hear. Don't let them smell the change." But the moon climbed higher, its light widening across the hut's floor. "Abeni, no, no!" her mother screamed. Abeni's voice shifted, deeper, older, like two people speaking at once. "Mother." Kola couldn't move. The air around her felt charged, almost sacred. Her shadow against the wall stretched long, too long, taking the form of a tall, slender woman with cowries embedded in her hair. A second shadow, a second figure. But Abeni stood alone. "What is that?" Kola whispered before he could stop himself. Her mother spun around. "You shouldn't be here." Abeni's eyes glowed pale silver, reflecting the rising moon. Then she spoke in a voice neither child nor human. "They are coming." Kola backed away in terror. "Who is coming?" Abeni looked straight into the moonlight. "The ones who lived before us." By morning, the entire village buzzed with fear. Someone claimed they had seen strange shapes near the river. Another swore they heard drums inside the forest without drummers. "Omens!" the elders shouted. "Signs of a curse!" Iya Agba hit her staff on the ground. "This child must not see the next full moon!" Abeni's mother dropped to her knees, crying. "Please, she is still my daughter." But the men gathered around her. "Your daughter is not of this world," one spat. "Her blood is mixed with something ancient, dangerous." Kola couldn't bear it anymore. "Stop!" he shouted. "She didn't ask to be born this way." The elders glared at him. Iya Agba approached with slow, heavy steps. "Kola, do you know what she is?" He shook his head. "Abeni is an Omo Ara Arun, a child of the ancestors," she said. "Her father was not a man." A gasp rippled through the crowd. Her mother broke the taboos, she continued. She fell in love with a wandering spirit from the old world. And when such a child is born, the veil between the living and the ancestors becomes thin, too thin. Kola looked at Abeni's mother. The woman trembled with shame, but also with pain. It was only one night, she whispered. One night by the river. And he didn't tell me what he was. The village erupted, curses, accusations, threats. But Abeni's mother lifted her head slowly. My daughter is not evil, she said. She is only divided. Divided between worlds, between bloodlines, between destinies. Kola's heart twisted. If she belongs to the ancestors, then why does the moon reveal her? Iya Agba closed her eyes. Because the moon is the doorway, and the ancestors want her back. Abeni's trembling voice carried through the hut. But I don't want to go. The next full moon arrived too quickly. The wind howled through the trees as though warning the villagers to stay inside, but curiosity and fear forced them out, forming a circle around the forbidden hut. Even the babies stopped crying. Even the goats stood still. Abeni stood at the center, shaking. Mama, she whispered, I'm scared. Her mother wrapped her arms around her. I'm here. Iya Agba stepped forward. Kola, she said sharply, do not interfere. But Kola walked to Abeni anyway. I won't leave you, he whispered. The moon climbed higher. Abeni's skin glowed faintly, like sunlight under water. Then, a sound erupted, a deep, ancient hum, not from Abeni, not from the sky, from the ground. What's happening? Kola gasped. The earth beneath their feet seemed to breathe. Shadows emerged, not evil, not violent, but tall, regal figures with glowing eyes and garments made of smoke. The ancestors. The entire village fell to their knees in terror. One spirit woman approached Abeni, her voice echoing like a memory. Daughter of two worlds, she said, your time has come. Abeni sobbed. I don't want to leave my mother. I don't want to leave my life. Another spirit stepped forward, the tallest of them. And when he spoke, Abeni's mother collapsed in recognition. It was him, the spirit she had loved. Abeni, he said gently, you were never meant to be hidden. You were meant to guide. Guide, Abeni whispered. The spirits nodded. You carry both our voices, they said. You are the bridge between worlds. Abeni looked at the villagers, the people who feared her, hated her, misunderstood her. I don't want to be a monster, she whispered. You are not a monster, her father said. You are a healer. The villagers murmured. A healer? Abeni looked at her hands, glowing softly. Then she pointed at a sick child nearby. Bring him, she said. Her voice was calm, steady, older, as if something inside her had finally woken. The boy's mother hesitated, terrified. But Iya Agba nodded. Bring the child. The ancestors are watching. The woman carried her weak son forward, his skin pale, his breathing shallow. Abeni knelt, the spirits surrounding her like silent guardians. Kola held his breath. Abeni placed her glowing hands on the boy's chest. At first, nothing. Then the boy gasped, air rushing into his lungs like a returning traveler. Color returned to his cheeks. His small fingers curled around Abeni's hand. A cry of awe rippled through the villagers. Abeni stood shakily. I only helped him see the life already inside him, she said. Her father smiled. Our daughter has chosen. Chosen? Iya Agba asked. Yes, the spirits said together. She chooses the living world. Abeni's mother cried out with relief. The spirits began to fade, but her father paused. Abeni, he said softly, when the moon is full, you will feel our presence. But fear nothing. You are never alone. She nodded, tears streaming down her glowing cheeks. The spirits dissolved into light. The villagers, humbled, approached her slowly. Abeni, one woman whispered, forgive us. Abeni looked at them, people who once hid her like a curse. I forgive you, she said. Fear is a heavy darkness, but truth is the moon that exposes it. Kola smiled proudly. So what happens now? Abeni looked up at the moon, full, bright, and gentle. Now, she said, I learned who I was meant to be. And from that night onward, the village no longer hid her. They celebrated her, protected her, learned from her, because sometimes the very thing we fear is the blessing we need. And the moon? It never stopped shining on Abeni, the girl who bridged two worlds and taught an entire village. That light can rise from the shadows. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves African tales. And if you want more stories like this, filled with mystery, culture, turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode from Griot's library. Thank you for listening. Until the next story, stay blessed and stay curious.